Hi Tris, really good getting you out on the course, mate, and was a couple to loosen up, but obviously you're straight out of the car, so always going to be the way. But yeah, a couple of interesting points. Nice to see a few good shots once you'd warmed up a little bit, but the putting certainly had some interesting bits and pieces to it. So I know you'd always said that putting and chipping and pitching the ball had always been maybe a little bit kind of inconsistent or yeah, kind of variable, I suppose, in terms of the performance. So just had a bit of a look as to why, and you can see quite a clear change here in terms of posture and setup position. We're trying to get a nice feeling of the shaft and the forearms in a nice line, holding a posture where you can just rotate from the forearms and essentially get those shoulders rocking, so kind of the rock the baby scenario. Whereas essentially on the left hand side, that initial setup position, what happens is the elbows and the hands go over because you can't quite rotate properly. Maybe actually it would have been better from the other angle, but what I'm looking for in this backswing is the putter head staying much closer to the ground, so kind of shallower back and through, hugging the ground a little bit more rather than this lifting position, which is essentially going to allow for a more consistent contact, and it's going to stop the ball from bobbling as you roll, as it rolls off and through. So it's just a bit of a downward hit, and generally speaking from here the ball will jump. Let's just have a little look at, here we go, the chipping and the pitching a second. Let's just smooth these 1 2 over. So this was an interesting one. You see quite a stark contrast here. So on your normal setup position, aiming way left, quite a lot of forward shaft lean, and then look how you get very much inside and behind yourself, and then from here you're so far underneath the plane line. Look at the amount of change through the wrists as you're coming through. Very, very difficult to get good contact from that position. Easy to thin the ball from there. This one was just a little bit heavy actually. So this one you actually struck really nicely, getting you far closer to the ball, a little bit taller actually, nicely on the back foot, and then trying to feel as if you're taking the club almost on the outside on the way back, or that's what it'll feel like. But just have a watch, nice and close to the plane line, straight up, straight back down and through. Look at that beautiful ball and turf contact, and just opening up the chest. That's not you, just opening up the chest towards the target on the way through. So you can see two very different contacts there on the way through, and you can just see there's far less change going on the way through. So yeah, you can see pretty clearly there what's going on. So yeah, obviously it took you a few shots to get used to it, and it feels pretty bizarre, but with a little bit of work you can become a very, very consistent pitcher and chipper of the ball. And if we can get the putter rolling as well, then I think, as I said to you before, single figures it should be absolute walk in the park to get back down to that, even without too much practice. So really enjoyed it, and yeah, look forward to seeing you again soon.